I wanted to share a story of how I lost my first ever client who was, someone who I thought I could really do business with long term, and also a huge income source for me at that point of time, right, while I was in the army, and how losing him as a client actually got me to just making my first ever 10K a month, which is something that I've dreamed about for like a year and a half, right? Really has been a long time thing for me to want to hit this goal. And this story like gave me a lot of clarity, and also just understanding myself a lot more as a person of how I do business with other people. This was back around like exactly a year ago, actually, when I first started with this athletic training coach he's a really jacked and agile black dude. Okay, his name is Ben. Like he really has the craziest physique out there, and I'll be working with him for close to around 10 months. And then the last few months of our kind of partnership, it really was a struggle for me, just mentally, because we were stuck. Like, we were really stuck at our revenue goals, and for the life of me, I just couldn't help him get past that 15K months, even though I know there was so much potential and so much that we were missing out on in his offer. Like, month after month, like, we were close, right? We were close to getting 15K cash collected. A lot of times we were like 10K, sometimes 8K, sometimes 12K. But at the end of the day, it's still, the fact that I knew I was responsible for just everything under the umbrella for his business, because I basically worked with him as a business partner. It really is a business partnership where I am the one who's dictating a lot of the stuff that's going on, because he was so new to the whole online coaching space, right? He just started his page at that point of time, like two months in, and I just reached out to him because I saw a lot of potential in him. It just popped out on my explore page one day. So yeah, we basically were a business partner sense, where he gave me a lot of authority in the business, and when I'm the one responsible for driving sales and like the team management and whatnot, to really hit our goal of 30K months, which is what I genuinely thought was possible. When we can't even hit that 15K month, like for like 3 or 4 months straight, it really made me very anxious, like anxious to a point where every single message that I received from him in that past like last 2 months was just a fear that, oh shit, like what is he gonna say, man? Is he gonna blame me on certain things? Is he going to want to part ways with me? Is this not gonna work out? I was on edge like 24/7. I'm not kidding. And because I was pretty desperate at that time, right? I really wanted this to work out with him, and all I could tell him was like, yo, I see your potential. I know there's 30K months in this offer. But in reality, like, I didn't know how to get there. I just know that we are sitting on a gold mine because of how unique our niche is and how great of a physique he has, right? His physique can really do the selling a lot of times. So I was really forcing things. I was forcing things to work. I was pushing my setters to work longer hours, to giving them incentives, have challenges for them. Like, I was really forcing everything under the umbrella just to have a glimpse of that 15K month first. But everything started to change when I actually got a message from Ashton Hall's business partner, right? Back when Ashton Hall was doing like his own fitness coaching, he was making upwards of like 60 to 80K a month. So his business partner Tommy reached out to Ben, but because I was in the DMs to help manage everything, I saw the message, right? And my first initial thought was, like, should I delete this message? Like, I have the power right now. If I just delete it, like, nobody would notice because it's just a brand new message coming in. And it really was a internal conflict with myself, because at that point, I was really earning a solid percentage with him in the business, and the fact that I was there with him right from the start. Like, I literally dedicated my time and my efforts all into this one offer. A big part of me still wanted to protect that connection and the friendship that I have with Ben, because it really was I treat it as my baby too, right? The business is also my baby because we grew it from the ground up, and I was part of it every single step of the way. We were basically communicating with each other almost every single day, trying to see what we can do for the business to make it better, to really thrive in it. Even though a big part of me felt like protecting that, but there was another part of me where I just knew it was something that had to be done. I just knew it was something that I had to let Ben know about. And how I knew that was when it really was a sign of relief when I saw the message, right? Because he was preaching about kind of putting like do we need help with the sales team? He sees a lot of potential in Ben. He wants to place his sales team into our offer, and also just to make sure everything else is running smoothly because he has worked with Ashton Hall before, right? And again, that's a really huge person to reach out to us. Back then, I think Ben had around 100k followers, but it's the fact that I know he's a lot more experienced and he has done a lot more with Ashton Hall that made me have that sigh of relief, honestly. Right, and also on top of the fact that because I was on edge just the whole last 2 months of our partnership, I didn't want to feel like that anymore. I'll be honest, I didn't want to feel like I'm on the chopping board like 24/7, and that stress really got to me and I couldn't handle pressure. Like that really is what it is. I couldn't handle pressure. I didn't know what I had to do. I was so stuck in forcing things and jamming things to work. But I really feel that now that I look back on it, I feel to realize there's a lot of things I could have done or I could have at least let go for us to really get to the next level. So that message request from Tommy, right, it felt like a lifeline to me, honestly. So I just screenshotted the message and I sent it to Ben. I told him, yo, I think you should give Tommy a chance. He's Ashton Hall's business partner, right? They made like crazy amount of money before, so it's a good opportunity. Hear him out, see what he has to say, and if it's something that makes sense, like tell me about it, right? I honestly deep down I knew I was basically gonna get replaced just because I couldn't deliver on results, and I know this guy can with the connections that he has, the experience, even the hires, the people that he's gonna bring in. But I didn't say it that way. I didn't want to say, oh, if it makes sense, I'm cool with leaving the offer. I'm cool with just separating with you. So I just told him, if it makes sense, let me know, and then we can talk. We can discuss further about it. So yeah, I did that, fully knowing that you'll replace me as his business partner. You'll replace even my income. At least at the point of time, I was making around like 3 to 4 thousand USD a month, which is a lot, okay, especially when I was still in the army. That amount of money is life changing to me. It really was life changing money because I didn't have to worry about buying food from the canteen. I can just go crazy. I'm an eater myself. I love to eat a lot of food, and it is just a very huge support that I had income wise for me to be able to just not think about food that much. But yeah, like a few days later, Ben told me about how the call went, and they wanted a trial basically to cop on the offer first. Ben had to kick all of my setters out and just let them cook in the DMs, let them see how they can do things differently. And yeah, the first 3 days that they came in, it was instantly a clear difference in the people that were working in the DMs and the way they ran things, the way they conducted their client fulfillment. So I got to see the structure that they had, the hunger in his setters, right? The teamwork, the way the setters operated, and even like a big part of it was like the financing payment plan that they had connections with WAP. That's why they were able to just greenlight Ben to be able to finance people like right away. So like all these were things that I weren't able to see for myself if I were to continue just trying to force us to get to that goal of ours. And it is also because I was able to let go, even though it was quite reluctant. But it is that exact reason why I was able to look at it at a bigger picture now. I'm able to see how a really skilled and experienced operator conducted his way of running a business or helping a business scale, helping a fitness coach scale. Right, I was able to get all these insights from Tommy. It really hurt me to realize that it really wasn't a knowledge issue in a sense. It really was my narrow-minded thinking and even the effort that I was putting in towards my setters, to like making the right decisions, taking the right steps to move the needle forward. These are things that I couldn't grasp at that point of time. And I remember the day that we basically had to separate, right? It was Ben not even telling me about him like kicking me out of his account. Like that's the worst feeling ever when I'm in the DMs. I'm literally the whole like 10 months of us working together, I had access to his DMs the whole way through. And when he just kicked me out without telling me, of course, like that's normal. You don't want to risk me doing anything funny, which of course I'm not the type of person to do that. But yeah, it really hurts, man, that I lost my business partner, in a sense, someone that I worked so hard with on an offer and literally built everything from the ground up with him, went through so much struggles. We even take those calls together. It was such a fun time, to be honest. Like I'm always up at like 11 p.m 12 a.m midnight, and because he's EST, so I'm in Singapore, right? So I'm always, sometimes when I'm in the army, I'll just sleep late. I'll go to like an isolated room. I'll just prop my phone there, and I'm just taking sales calls with him because he wasn't that confident in taking sales calls, and I also wanted to help him out, wanted to get experience too. So it was a sales call structure where we both were on it, and then it's always me conducting the call, which is awesome, man. And we get a lot of funny people, so we get a lot of interesting guys that were on the call. But yeah, overall it really sucked at that point of time. But I also understood like it's needed, man. Like I just couldn't get results. There's no way around it. I could not. He has given me a chance, by the way. He has been a great person to work with. He has given me opportunity over opportunity to get the results that I promised him, the results that I told him that we can get. So it was really a lack of me getting results for him that I came to terms with not working with him anymore, and we parted ways. We hopped on a call, we had our chat. I still want to help him with some other stuff, but honestly it's not needed. Like the main bottleneck was just the sales side of things. So yeah, we ended off on good terms, right? I still message him every now and then to congratulate him on things. I'm still very supportive of his journey, like 100%. And I guess the lesson and something that I learned a lot more about myself is, if I had the decision to go back in time and I saw the message come in from Tommy, I would still 100% not delete the message. I'll screenshot it, I'll show it to Ben, I'll let him know, like, yo, give this guy a shot, man. Because I knew holding someone back from his business isn't the right thing to do. Like, I can't be that selfish. I cannot sleep at night knowing that there is something that I'm taking away from someone else. Because at the end of the day, yes, we are business partners, but it is his business, right? I am someone who saw potential in his business, and I came on board as a partner. And it's also the reason why I need to let go when things are just not working our way, right? Because of me. So yeah, it just made me realize that sometimes the right move in your career or your entrepreneurship or like businesses is really the ones that is the scariest, and the things that you least want to do in your life, right? The decisions that you least want to make, but it is very much needed. And it will cost you sometimes, right? It really cost me a big part of my financial income, and it really was a huge hit in my confidence, right? The kind of expectations that I had for myself, like, it was here at that point of time, and it just had to drop all the way down because I lost a partner that I was working with, right? And again, and to talk about some positive things, then this experience also made me really grew fast, be able to understand, okay, like, I need to step up, like, this isn't going to work. It really forced me to really grow as a person, and just be able to understand, like, not everything is permanent. I can't always be comfortable with whatever I'm doing or whoever I'm working with, because at the end of the day, like, that is never going to be what gets you to the next level. Okay, if I were to continue with him and I was still forcing, even if we did say hit that 15k month goal, it will be my cap, bro. I will be capped there. I will be comfortable. I will tell myself, yes, we hit it, we did it, even though our potential is at like 30k months. And looking back, my intuition was right, like, when I said this was a 30k per month offer, because the second and a half month in, they hit that 30k. So it's 100% a lack of just team management, the way I lead the team as a leader, just a lot of like skill sets and my own personal mindset that was holding me back from taking the right steps or understanding what the right steps are. So fast forward, that whole experience and whatever I learned from Ben is also what forced me to be a better entrepreneur, a better consultant for my fitness coaches. And I was actually able to help one of my clients go from like 2k a month when he first joined to us hitting our first 30k month in 1.5 months, right? 30k cash collected. So that is insane to me. And again, I wouldn't have that opportunity if I didn't let go, right? If I didn't just tell myself, like, this is the right thing to do, like, I have to let him go. I understand it's something that I worked really hard on for close to a year, and it really sucks that he gets to fly off with the business that we have both worked on, while I have to just let go completely and start afresh. Me having to restart from the ground up, and having to start with outreaching to fitness coaches, and from there just doing everything myself again, without the whole 10 months of effort that I've put into in his business. So obviously that sucked. That's just how the game it is for the business model that I'm in, which is more of a growth partner. Now it's more so a consultant because I want to work on my own things too. I understand how important it is to have a personal brand, to have a something of my own, right? And this is a 2026 goal that I wrote down. Like I want to have something of substance of my own, right? Something that I can just proudly tell and share to my parents, like I have a business, right? This is my business, right? It's such a freeing thing if I am just able to focus on, something that I know is gonna be a part of me all my life. So I want to end off with whatever you're experiencing with your entrepreneurship journey, whatever you are doing, in the info space, right? Or you're a coach yourself, understand there's a lot of ups and downs. Okay, there's a shit ton of ups and downs, a lot of internal conflicts that you have with yourself, decisions that you frankly don't know what is the right move to make, right? You don't know if this is gonna like just throw you back 20 steps or it's gonna propel you 20 steps, right? So you have to take it step by step and kind of be more understanding of your situation and what your morals are, what you as a character, like what you really want to make in that point of time, especially when you know something isn't working and you're actively like forcing things, right? You're trying to make it work, you're trying your hardest to make it work by forcing it. It's most of the time not going to work because you are in a sense too attached because of the time you invest in comfortability or that you have, like whatever factor it is for your situation. Just understand it all leads to somewhere better, right? It's either a lesson that you learned or it's a really successful decision that you make that will propel your business forward. I always think of it as a positive value add to my life, right? Either that is something that I will learn for the rest of my life and it's like ingrained into me because I personally suffered or I went through the experience, or it's a great decision that I made that kind of moved my business forward. Just be honest with yourself, be very real with who you are as a person, how you want to operate things, right? That's what I'm trying to do even on my page here. So just sharing more of my journey, and I understand like this story might inspire or might help one of you guys watching go through a situation. It is a disservice for me not to post content, and I'm glad I'm able to do this. I'm glad I'm able to help the people that I want to help. So yeah, I hope you learn something from this, or it kind of inspire you to take some action on your own, or give you clarity, give you insights on what you're struggling with right now. I did hit my first 10k a month USD because I'm from Singapore, so the currency is even better for me. So that was around like 13 and a half 14k cash collected in my business, and I don't feel a big difference. I was happy when I crossed that 10k mark because like 5 figures, but in terms of what I have to do, like it's even more shit that I have to take on, that's on my plate. I have more stress. um I have to do more things, right, for my clients, and it is a blessing too that I'm able to be this stressed about my business, and I'm now actively trying to think, okay, what is the best move to take? Like, what's the best step forward that I can take for my own business, for helping my clients, to get them results and whatnot, right? But at the same time, it's also the most fun. I want to make more content, just sharing about my journey and mainly helping my fitness coaches, man. I have so much value that I know I can provide for you guys, and I want you guys to do well in your own coaching business. And yeah, I'll end it off there. But yeah, peace.